Hi, and welcome to Geo and Mr. Mystergio review rock and roll wrestling. Saturday, April 15th, was Wrestling for a Cause at the City Diggers Club Wollongong, with funds being raised for Jacob Purcell's health battles. With a top card of wrestling action to boot. A fantastic night, and we've got lots to cover, but before we get into it, it's time to introduce Mr. Mystergio. Yes, it's Mr. Mystergio, the dark half, the smart half, the half all you people want to see. And yes, as I said, I'm not completely heartless, and it was great to be part of the night for Jacob's fundraising. But I'm not here to brown nose or kiss up. I know everyone wants to hear my thoughts, even though you don't deserve to hear them. But lucky for you, I'm a caring, sharing guy, so let's get into it. So the show opened up with Hunter Hayes reminding us all of the fundraising efforts, and whilst being respectful of the economic times which are tough for many, urging people to dig as deep as they could. It was classy stuff, and it was really great to see the crowd doing all they could. I won't bury the lead here. $10,000 was raised, which is a massive effort. So well done, rock and roll wrestling, the fans, the wrestlers, the businesses that supported, anyone who played a part. But on to the show, and we began with a promo from the rock and roll wrestling champion, the one Moses, coming out wearing a suit and baiting the crowd. A chorus of boos rained down, not even allowing Moses to speak. The crowd obviously held him in contempt for his deplorable actions that gained him the title last show, and they were letting him know, switching between boos and keto chants. Moses gave an ice-cold promo, although he almost fell off the chair which that he pulled out to sit down on, which the crowd thought was hilarious. He told us he'd dump fat loser Keto, he'd dump fat loser Hunter, and although he was being forced to defend the title, he would beat Jay Sorbet too. This man is the epitome of what a champion should be. Well dressed, well spoken, a glass of champagne. Cold, calculating, ruthless. And yes, he's right. It's no coincidence that by dumping the keto persona and the baggage that brought with it, mainly the loser fans that cheered him, he rose straight to the top of rock and roll wrestling faster than Mr. Mystergio rises to the top of all the ladies' matches on Tinder. I reckon that chair was a setup too. Hunter Hayes probably planted it because he's got hurt feels about losing his precious little belt to a clearly superior athlete. I've seen your Tinder. If you reckon Moses is unpopular, you should just have a look in your Baron Matches page. But yeah, the first match was Otis against Lockheed the tradie. This was a barn burner of an opener. Every time I see Lockheed, he seems to get better and better. High impact moves, smooth inside the ropes, and I really thought he was going to get the win here. But perhaps his inexperience cost him as he made a slight mistake, and that's all Otis needed to take advantage, gain control, and secure the win with the go to sleep. Are you serious? You seriously thought Lockheed was going to win? Yeah, even I'll admit he put up a reasonable fight, but he was in there against Australian wrestling royalty in Otis. The big dog was always going to have too much class, and honestly, I think Otis could have done away with him much quicker than what he did, but probably just needed a little bit of an exercise and was good enough to put a show on for us fans. I don't know what you were watching, but yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Lockie continue to improve and climb the ladder. Anyway, on to our next match. Morgan Rose against the returning Eric Fisher. Fisher's popularity in the ring certainly hasn't waned during his time away, and he put in a great performance. Morgan Rose is tough, cunning, and dangerous, distracting the referee to bend the rules, and for a while it looked as though he would be too much, while Fisher was finding his feet again in the ring. But Fisher showed all the qualities he has shown in the past, fighting hard and getting the win with a hybrid fisherman's buster suplex. I've said before that Morgan Rose is just extremely unlucky. This guy has everything to be successful, but for some reason he just can't get a win at the moment. Maybe it's the officiating, I just don't know. But I'm sure he's going to get on a roll soon, and when he does, no one on the rock and roll wrestling roster will be safe. Next up, we had the Greasers out into the ring. They had the microphone and they were talking themselves up, putting down Charity, and just being their general obnoxious selves. That brought Dicko to the ring. He stood up to them, showing massive bravery even though he was outnumbered. He asked for a match and they laughed and teased and ridiculed, telling him he had no partner. Then the music hit and out came Hunter Hayes and the match was on. This was a fast-paced, often chaotic match, with the referee occasionally losing control of things. The Greasers used all their tag team experience, but even with that advantage, the scrappy underdog Dicko and former rock and roll champion Hunter got the win when Hunter hit a DDT. This was a completely unfair result. There were several times when Hunter and Dicko cheated, and the ref seemed so much stricter on the Greasers. I've got no doubts at all that if they weren't surprised by this sudden team being put together and had time to properly prepare, it would have been an absolute walkover. We then had intermission, and there was more fundraising taking place with coin toss games in the ring and other great stuff. Then it was time for the Australian hero Lee Morrow versus The Bachelor. Morrow has just returned from a stint at Cody Rhodes' Nightmare Factory training school, and you could see the polish as he takes his game up another notch. But this is not to sell The Bachelor short. He put up a great fight, but in the end Morrow won with a uranagi. The match was fought in excellent spirit, with the highlight being Morrow picking a kid up from the audience and running at The Bachelor with holding the kid feet first, sending The Bachelor flying. This got a huge cheer from the crowd. Morrow even playfully teased cheap-shotting The Bachelor after the match before laughing and smiling and soaking up the adulation of a crowd that really enjoyed the match. Excellent spirit. Lee Morrow, what happened? What happened to the man? What is this Australian hero rubbish? You went to the Nightmare Factory and it looks like all you learnt was how to be a grinning idiot like what Cody Rhodes is on TV. Yeah, sure, your skill set is top-notch, but for the next level, you've got to get rid of the flag, the Angels song, people cheering for you, and find the man again. Finally, we got to the main event. Rock and Roll Wrestling champion Moses up against challenger, former friend and tag team partner, and double-crossed former Gold Rush briefcase holder Jay Sorbet. Just before we get into it, a quick thank you to Jay for giving me a birthday shout. But on to the match. Sorbet tried to get the crowd under Moses' skin by getting the crowd to chant Keto. It seemed to work too, with Sorbet getting the best of the early going before Moses took control. It was a back-and-forth match with Sorbet's high-flying, fast-moving athletic style against Moses and his new ruthless arsenal. The match was reaching its peak when the referee got caught up in the action and was knocked down. This was bad news for Sorbet, as Moses, a man without remorse or afraid to take a shortcut, grabbed the title belt and knocked out Sorbet with it, picking up a very hollow win. After the match, Moses prepared Sorbet for a concerto, but Hunter Hayes broke it up, took down Moses, and Sorbet hit the 450 on Moses to close the night out. Moses retains by the skin of his teeth, but it looks like he's going to have to continue to pay for his treachery, with the entire roster lining up to have a shot at him. Pay for his treachery? Tell me, how is he paying for his treachery? By being the Rock and Roll Wrestling champion? The old Keto would probably have gotten the referee a drink of water and a chair, asked him if they were all right, and, would have stopped the match just until the referee was fine to continue. But not the one Moses. He saw his window of opportunity and seized it. The clown in the pink shirt continued to miss opportunities by worrying about the fans and what people thought of him. Opportunities Moses is taking and capitalising on. By the way, can you tell me what's happening in this photo? I can tell you. You were disrespecting Moses, screaming at him like an idiot. And he said in a calm, level voice, "Make sure you tell the people on YouTube that I am the one." Obviously, Moses, your message has reached me. Moses, you are the one, and I look forward to a long, prolific title reign. Yeah, sure, I was a bit lost in the moment there, but as always, I had a great time. It was a fantastic night for my birthday celebrations too. Big thanks to Mark, the official photographer, for that photo we just shared, and a few he took of me and my friends enjoying the night there as well, plus all the other great action shots he took. Afterwards, I went out with some friends and enjoyed Wollongong's hospitality. Also, a big shout out to the guy who came up to me before the show and said he enjoyed these videos. I hope you and everyone who watches this enjoys it, and we look forward to say it, damn you. Bohemian Rhapsody, May 27th at the City Diggers Club. Hopefully we'll see you there.